Derek Jeter is officially being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown this morning. I could not be happier for the guy. Now, of course, online there's going to be a lot of trolls saying that Derek Jeter was overrated, his glove was really bad. Honestly, his glove, yes, it was not the best, but we all did the Jeter throw in our backyards as kids, and offensively, he is one of the better leadoff hitters in the history of our game. You don't just magically run into 3,000 base hits over the course of your career, so in my opinion, Derek Jeter, one of the all-time greats. I think that he should be a unanimous Hall of Famer. I mean, he's Derek Jeter. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as save yourself some money if you're going to any baseball games. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off. Yesterday, we saw Wander Franco make history. Albert Pujols was back in St. Louis for possibly his final home run in Busch Stadium, and then also Blake Snell, he took another no-hitter into the 7th inning for his second consecutive start. Did he get it done, or did they take him out? Now, of course, like with any recap, we're going to go ahead and talk about the walk-off victory first and foremost. I believe there was only one. We have the Astros versus the Mariners. Jose Altuve, he hit his first home run in over a month, and then Alex Bregman on this line drives, gives Houston an early 2-0 lead, and J.P. Crawford delivers in the clutch with a 2 RBI double, and Kyle Seager smokes his 34th home run of the year, easily a career high, as Luis Torrens, his RBI single makes it 4-2. I would recommend not throwing a fastball up in the zone to Alex. Okay, never mind. He did the exact opposite. So Paul Sewald gives up a game-tying pimp job to Alex Bregman, and then Seattle, they can't score in the 10th as Carlos Correa comes in clutch in the bottom of the 10th and walks it off, which was a big punch to the gut for Seattle fans because the Blue Jays, they won yesterday, so they lost the game in the wild card standings. Before we talk about the wild card standing, let's talk about the Rays game because I have to talk about Mr. Wander Franco. Now, I guess before that happened, Manuel Margot and Mike Zunino drove in 3 RBIs on some extra base hits, and Nelson Cruz is finally catching fire. He looks like the Cruz that they traded for. He now has 4 home runs and 10 RBIs since I said that he was bad for Tampa Bay. Mike Zunino and Nelson Cruz, they both have multi-home run games, and Nelson Cruz becomes the oldest player in the history of baseball to have 30 home runs, and Mike Zunino, even though he has a 211 batting average, he has 29 home runs and a 141 OPS plus. He is an elite hitter despite the batting average. Now, Wander does take a walk in the 7th inning, so he extends his on-base streak to 37 games. Absolutely unreal. He is sandwiched between Frank Robinson and Mickey Mantle after passing Mickey Mantle for the 20-year-olds who have had that long of an on-base streak. Jordan Luplow hits a 3-run dong, and he has been great the last week. And Bobby Dahlbeck, I just want to mention him. He has been scary good over the last month. 2 2-run home runs as Boston tries to make the comeback, but they lose their 3rd game in a row. They're 10 games back to first place, but luckily they're still in the thick of things for the wild card, but more on that later. Now, real quick before we get into the Yankees game, I do want to let you guys know that Josh Lowe, the brother of Nate Lowe, who was formerly on the Rays and now he's on the Rangers, his brother Josh is being called up. He is a really good prospect. He has 21 home runs and he's 24 for 24 on stolen base attempts, so the Rays, they could get even better. Now, he's probably not going to be up for that long, but he's supposed to be great. The Yankees came into this game on a 3-game losing streak, so they needed Garrett Cole to right the ship, and unfortunately, Alejandro Kirk, I say unfortunately if you're a Yankees fan, Alejandro Kirk had other ideas in mind. Now, Rizzo did come back to tie it up in the 3rd inning, but then Lourdes Gurriel and Reese McGuire, they drive in 2 on some sac flies. Garrett Cole has to leave the game with hamstring tightness. I think they did this as a precaution. I believe he's not going to miss any starts. Marcus Semien has a home run in 3 consecutive games. He now has 38 on the season. I think the all-time record for most home runs by a second baseman is 43 or 44, so Marcus could get there by the end of the year. Kirk goes 392 the other way. He has been a very good offensive catcher ever since his debut last year, and the Jays are now creeping up on the Boston Red Sox. We expected this in the offseason as opposed to the Red Sox being in first place. The Jays have won 6 in a row, and then the White Sox beat the A's yesterday. So Yasmani takes a bases little walk and drives in a run, but then Matt Olson does his job as well on a sac fly. Andrew Vaughn, kind of a scary moment. He lasers a foul ball into his own dugout, and he hits Eloy Jimenez on the knee, but Eloy is able to stay in, and Gavin Sheets actually drives drives him in the 5th inning as Cesar Hernandez breaks it open on a 2-run single to right field. Brian Goodwin plates Moncada and Jose Abreu on a 2-run single. And speaking of Abreu, look at this catch in the 9th inning as Liam Hendriks secures his 33rd save of the season, and of course it was against his former team. So the A's have lost 4 games in a row, just like the Yankees. They're now 3.5 games behind for the wild card. And I just want to mention a kind of fun fact: Starling Marte, who the A's got at the trade deadline, is now 5th in the American League in stolen bases, and he's still 4th in the National League. No one's ever done that before. So here's how the wild card is shaping up in the AL. We have Toronto now 2 games back of Boston for 2nd place. Seattle and the A's stay at 2 and 3 games back because they both lost. And the Yankees, even though they've lost 4 straight games, are still a half game ahead of the Boston Red Sox for 1st place in the wild card. The Giants, I really feel like their series against LA unlocked something that we haven't seen in a few weeks from the Giants offense, and they are clicking and firing on all cylinders. Brandon Belt, he ropes a double to bring in Timmy LaStella, and then Buster Posey and Crawford make it 3-0. As starting pitcher, Logan Webb rips one down the line for an RBI double, and if I might say so myself, he has a pretty solid swing. You have LaStella knocking him in, and then Steven Duggar, he clears the bases on his 2nd triple of the night, and we haven't really talked about Mike Yastrzemski all that much this year, but he connects for a 433-foot home run. That was his 22nd Adios Pelota of the year, and then he singles in Evan Longoria in the 9th. So the Giants are 4th in team OPS and 2nd in team ERA. That will definitely play. The Dodgers faced off against the Cardinals. Albert Pujols might have hit his final home run in Busch Stadium in front of the St. Louis Cardinals fans. That was home run number 679 for his career, and it was against a lefty. So on the year, Albert Pujols is hitting .302 with 13 home runs and an almost .980 OPS versus lefty, so he is dangerous against people like Andrew Miller and anyone else that you want to throw out there, Steven Matz. So look for that in the playoffs. Nolan Arenado drives in a few to grab the lead, but then you have Souza doubling in. Seager, Belly has an RBI ground out, and then Justin Turner and Will Smith both homer, and Justin does it again in the 9th inning. The Dodgers yesterday played 8 dudes with a .450 and higher slugging percentage. Their offense is ridiculous. The Angels versus the Padres. Packy Naughton, yes, that is a real name. He shoved it for LA yesterday. 5 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts, only allowed 2 base hits. But Snell was even better. And if we go back to his last game, he had 7 no-hit innings, but then the manager took him out. And then yesterday, he went 6 2/3 no-hit innings before Joe Adell broke up the no-hitter. I mean, that's crazy. The fact that Blake Snell went almost 14 innings without allowing a base hit. Just unfortunately, he got 0 run support. And Joe Adell, again, he's been heating up lately with the .310 batting average over his last 12 games. Rengifo lifts off, and Joe Adell caps a 3 RBI day, and the Padres, they need the Reds to lose, and the Reds were facing off against the Red Hot Cubs. So India, he starts off the game with his 5th leadoff home run of the year. That's the most in franchise history. Nick Castellanos blast homer number 27, and Wade Miley, not only is he pretty good in the batter's box, but he has been a top 10 starting pitcher in all of baseball. He goes 7 innings, only 1 earned run with 8 strikeouts, 0 walks. He lowers his ERA to 2.89. Mike Moustakas and Kyle Farmer, they are that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. They both deliver with RBI singles, and the Cubs, they go down 4-1, but they want this 8th win in a row. Ortega hits a home run, and on this home run, Ian Happ now has a 93 OPS plus, so he is inching ever so closely to getting back to 100. Just unfortunately, the Cubs lose as Michael Givens grabs the save, so the Reds, they gained a game on the Padres, so we'll see about the standings in a moment. The Phillies embarrassed the Brewers 48 hours ago, so yesterday Milwaukee had to return the favor, and they embarrassed the Phillies after Eduardo Escobar found a hole in left field for 2 RBIs, and Yelich, he brings in Eduardo Escobar as Aaron Nola, he has not been that great this year. He has a 4.57 ERA. The FIP is a little bit better, but still, he has not been their ace in 2020. You have starting pitcher Eric Lauer taking a bases little walk for the Brewers, and Colton Wong slaps a single to make it 6-0. And Eric Lauer, he has been the best pitcher for the Brewers the last 2 months. 7 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts. He has a 2 ERA over the last 2 months. The Atlanta Braves faced off against the Nationals. Adam Duvall does not need to walk. Well, actually, it would be nice, but if he keeps on hitting clutch home runs, it's not going to matter. He delivers with a 3-run tater, and then Atlanta, they make it 5-1 as Max Fried was really good. I mean, I should refrain from saying that because he was decent. He only allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings, but he had 6 base hits and 4 4 walks. So he was able to work around the jams that he put himself into, and he gives the lead to the bullpen, and yikes, Juan Soto drives in his 81st RBI, and Yadiel Hernandez ties it up on a 3-run Oppo Taco. He has a home run in 4 straight games. Then he drives in his 93rd RBI as Will Smith picks up his 31st save. The Braves, I really like what they have going forward. The Mets versus the Marlins. Pete Alonso has been playing like an MVP in the second half, and they said the Derby was going to break his swing. That was homer number 100 for his career. He is the second fastest in history to 100 home runs, right behind Ryan Howard. Now fast forward to the 6th after Miami tied it up again. New York scores 1 on some bad defense from the Marlins, and Francisco Lindor, who has a .308 batting average with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs in his last 6 games, he delivers. And JD Davis drives an RBI, and then Pete Alonso does his thing. He now has 32 home runs and an almost 140 OPS plus. So the wild card in the National League, the Reds and the Padres are tied yet again for second place. The Phillies, they are now 2 games back of the wild card, and the Mets and the Cardinals, after the Cardinals lost yesterday, they're tied at 3.5 games back. I hate to say this, but moving on over to the games that don't mean anything, we have the Orioles beating the Royals. Kelvin Gutierrez makes a slick play at third base, and the Orioles, they put up 2 right before DJ Stewart hit his 12th home run of the year. Austin Hayes, he was on a 13-game hitting streak coming into this one and makes it 14 on this absolute no-doubt bomb. Mike Baumann was fantastic in his debut. He comes in for 3 2/3 innings of relief, does not allow a single run, and Cedric Mullins, good lord, now has 27 home runs to go along with 26 stolen bases as they beat the Royals 7-3. The Pirates and the Tigers faced off in a close game. Colin Moran starts it off with a sac fly, and Ben Gamble forgets that he is in fact human, that he cannot just go through walls. So Derek Hill is able to take advantage of that, and Robbie Grossman then drives in Derek Hill to grab the lead, but then Gamble, he made up for it for the rest of the game. He makes a fantastic grab in the 6th inning, all while Miguel Cabrera is racking up 3 base hits, so he is now just 33 hits away from 3,000, and Gamble, he used that embarrassing moment for fuel as he not only makes that grab, but he wins it on an RBI double, and the Pirates have won 2 in a row. The Twins versus Cleveland. Savali's back, and he got absolutely no run support, an embarrassing performance, if I might say so myself. He only allowed 1 run in the 5th inning, and John Gant was his typical self. Usually what John Gant does is he goes 4 or 5 shutout innings with a lot of strikeouts and a lot of walks. He had 4 yesterday. Brent Roker, this guy is jacked. He goes 421 feet in the 7th and a rise. He has an RBI triple, and Column A closes the door for his 13th save, and the Twins have won 3 in a row. And last but not least, DJ Peters stays hot. He starts a big-time rally in the 4th inning as Jason Martin knocks in 2. Okay, I lied. It wasn't the biggest inning, but the Rangers do score all of their runs in that 1 inning, and Jordan Lyles comes in for 7 innings of relief, only allows 1 earned run, and the Rangers have now won 3 games in a row, just like the Twins. So let me know in the comment section down below, do we think that the Twins and the Rangers are going to be a playoff team anytime soon? I'm curious. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off. Derek Jeter, he earned every bit of today's celebration. He is an all-time great. I don't care if you say he's overrated defensively. Absolutely earned it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Enjoy this day in MLB history.
1-2 pitch. Swing.